Hey YouTube, I've had this hanging on my wall the last couple of weeks. Did a video ages ago, but it's about time for an update, I suppose. This is my impossible to take a really decent photo of because you can't really see. Maybe if I kind of open the curtain a bit. It's like a flame maple top, but it's really dark coloured. And if you get the angle right, it's like, it's got lots of depth and stuff like that. Basically, it's kind of the colour. It's called Black Pearl. It's my favourite thing about it. But it's what makes the guitar just that little bit special. It's already an Ibanez Roadstar. It's a Roadstar DELUXE, which is the first I've ever heard that. I wasn't aware that there was Ibanez catalogues from every year online, but if you just type in 1986 Ibanez catalogue, up it comes. So this is a Roadstar DELUXE, an RG530bp for Black Pearl. You'll notice it's an RG, but it doesn't look like a normal RG because in 1986 was the first year of the RG, meaning Roadstar guitar. In 1987, Steve Vai came out with his gem, which is the sort of pointy shape that we now know as an RG, and it's been there ever since. So there was like a year in the middle where it was getting towards the gem, but hadn't quite got there yet. As I said, this is obviously a deluxe one with a fancy finish on it. The ultimate expression of craftsmanship written on the headstock. Headstock being different from the Blazer, but still in the same sort of category of sort of ugly shape. It looks like a duck's bill for something, but it's much bigger on the Blazer than it is on this. That's my entire Roadster collection. It consists of the Blazer, which is 1981, and this is 1986. This is also the first year Ibanez had a Floyd Rose licensed tremolo system on it. Up until this point, all the Japanese, everyone basically was making their own versions of Floyd Rose, where it wasn't quite right. A lot to do with the nut. This has a Floyd Rose type nut, which we don't think anything of these days because every Floyd Rose guitar has this. This is the bit that was patented by Floyd Rose. So every other guitar you see up before, or every Ibanez anyway, before 1986, it's got a clamp up here somewhere and a normal nut, and you'll see that with lots of different makes from that era because they didn't want to pay, or they weren't able to get the actual official license. This actually does say licensed under Floyd Rose patents. So it does. This is an Edge 1, it's called. I was actually looking up, you get some interesting stuff written when you actually, I can't blow it up very high, so I'm going to have to just go down there and sort of shout up what it says. The Roadster DELUXE has traditionally featured our finest tremolo systems. New for 1986, Ibanez introduces the Ibanez Edge tremolo system and Top Lock 3 locking nut. This unit offers the latest in advanced tremolo technology through a process called the Lost Wax method. This is news to me. I read it 5 minutes ago when I found it, but I mean it's news today. We're able to use a metal formulation that is much denser and stronger than standard methods to cast the Ibanez Edge and Top Lock 3. The result is brilliant harmonics and rich sustain. Knife edge pivots of hardened steel provide smooth action and pitch recovery while the top lock securely clamps. The strings are up for dive bomber effects with no string slippage. All RG530 series have oil finish necks and featured on our 1985 Proline models. The smooth natural feel, that's a 1986 RG DX series, features 22 and 24 fret models. Both have smaller, lighter weight bodies for enhanced comfort and freedom of movement during live performance. 500 and 600 series 24. Yeah, so this is a 24 fret one. There are ones that look very similar but are only 22 fret. The thing, I'm just talking anyway, but so that means the neck pickup isn't in the correct place. If you look at like a Les Paul, I don't have a Les Paul, but that's where the neck pickup's meant to be on a Les Paul, where it's meant to be. So, basically where the 24th fret is. So on any 24 fret guitar, the neck pickup is not in the right, is slightly more towards the bridge. The of course exception is the SG, which has the fretboard inexplicably stops at 22 and then there's a gap. So it should kind of, they do make the SG tribute models that made them 24 fret, but there's a gap there. You can, if you can really see it, there's a gap there where you could fit another 2 frets in. I think it's just because of the shape of the body. If you move the pickup up here somewhere, it's going to be awful close to the edges and there's probably not enough room for it. So an SG, one of the difference between an SG and a Les Paul, other than the fact there's they're significantly different weights and construction. The neck pickup's not in the same place, so they aren't going to sound the same. One of the things that make them sound different. So this has got this. Lots of, obviously looking at the wall, the BC Riches all have this because they've all got 24 frets. So they're all in this position, not in the correct position. Yeah, so it's a stunning guitar. I put a picture of this. I had it out for my live stream a couple of weeks ago. A few folk asking about it. I put some pictures up and I put one onto the Ibanez Roadstar fan club page. There is actually a Roadstar Facebook page, and there was a guy who's like from Sweden or Switzerland, Sweden I think he said, and he's like, yeah, I've got the world's biggest Roadster collection. I don't have your one. I want it. And he was started making offers. It's like, I can't sell it. So I would never replace it. I mean, if it had been any other colour, I would probably have sold it. But it's just because it's a really nice guitar. I really like anyway. But the colour just does it for me totally. It doesn't look right in videos or in you can't really see. It just seems to be washed out. But yes, so have a wee jam with it. Playing through it. Currently I'm using the wee PV Valve King through that 3x12 cabinet. Valve King Royal 8. Not yet decided what to do with it. I bought it just merely out of curiosity, and it's actually really pretty good. It's kind of all I need. Not ready to give up the Ghost and the Laney. I don't think it sounds quite as good as the Laney, but it's not miles apart. It is price wise. So this has 2 volume controls, which I've moaned about before. I'd much rather have 1 volume control, so it's like the neck volume and the bridge volume. It's also got push pots for dual sound. That's what it says there. They do have a dual sound modern pickup, which is a different thing. It's like a stacked. It's like a 3-coil pickup, but these are obviously just means it's got coil splits on it with the push pots, which I don't like because on normal push pots or modern ones you push them in and they pop up or they pop down so you can see whether they're on or off. On this one it looks the same whether it's on or off, so you have to kind of play it. I would guess that's a single coil. That's the humbucker. But you have to do that every time, so I'll put them both into single coil. So is this one single coil? I dare say it is, because this will be humbucker. Single. Humbucker. Single. Yeah. Don't like that. Don't like the barrel jack, but apart from that, I think it's an absolutely wonderful guitar. It's got a look to it. It's the sort of thing that I think would look amazing. See if you're wearing a suit, something like if you're in a wedding band, this would really be a really nice, custom-y looking, very interesting guitar. really struggling playing along with these chords. So much so, I'm just going to give up on those chords. I should really be doing the whole video again, but I'll say I'm going to edit it, not bother. Just go back to my usual. Just stick in A minor, stick to what you know. Yeah. Oops. Next single coil. Both pickups. Which single coil? Joyo US Dream pedal. As again, just using the wee PV. Humbucker. Neck. And single. So, bridge humbucker, neck single. Jump bridge down. of individually hit sort of cowboy spaghetti western sound there, which is kind of pretty good. But it still does do, obviously, we're talking about hair metals time here in 86. So it totally does all that. So much so that actually Gary Moore used one of these for out in the fields. His one's all black, those are just like the cool paint job, but it's the same, the RG530bp. The pickups are to the 2 adjustment screws on the top, which is a better system. They're just Ibanez branded, and if you look in the spec sheet, it just says IBZ pickups. I have definitely read that when Gary Moore was talking about this guitar, the pickups are Ibanez branded that kind of look like EMGs. Those are the ones he used for the solo and out in the fields. So they're good enough for him. They're good enough for me. They look kind of good. It's kind of very much by the time you got to 86, you really are talking about black hardware and EMG looking pickups were the thing. I think it works better on this guitar because it's got the sort of reverse sunburst thing. It's also pearl white. Got a painted neck on it. And it's got the fancy this shaped strap buttons, the sort of kite shaped ones, which are so tight that it's not actually easy to get the strap off, which means it's not going to fall off. I'm not worried about it at all. Still a wee bit worried about it. Not really worried about it at all. But it's basically just this. It's a fantastic. It's basically it's very much a Stratocaster. I suppose I was arguing before that it's not really a Super Strat. It's because it doesn't really look like normal Super Strats. There are other Ibanez that kinda look like this. Yeah, I don't know. There's something I was thinking. Something maybe it's just the binding. And this bit, there's something a wee bit Rickenbackery somewhere going on. Looking at it, just, you know, this bit, something. And it's obviously got the thing on the top. Right, I'm absolutely roasty toasty and I'm having a heck of a time today because of this. This webcam keeps cutting out and it's really annoying. I've managed to get 20 minutes in without it cutting out. Once I've sold some stuff, I'm actually due a YouTube payment. I'm going to buy another webcam. So the quality will go up a bit, but it's really more just the fact that that thing is just doing my head in. It just suddenly goes all jittery, and then just unplugging it, plugging it back in again, resetting the computer, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's totally infuriating. Don't want to be complaining about that. When I can be complaining about the heat, you know, it's like Scottish, just like hot is bad. It must be 24 degrees out there. It's just. I mean, I've opened the window now, but that's why I'm not going to play the guitar again, so all the neighbours don't hear me. They can just hear me talking and just think I'm a loony for that reason. Yeah, so I think maybe the last of this current series of Fuzz Thursday coming tomorrow night. I was round at Scott's yesterday, so hopefully Scott's Saturday should be back on Saturday. Not watched any of the footage yet, but we talked a lot. I think the videos are maybe. I split it up into videos again, so we did 2 guitars at a time, but I think I might actually have to split them up again because they're coming in at 35 minutes and 40 minutes long. It's quite long. You know, YouTube always tells you, it's like, keep your videos short and sweet, don't do more than 5 minutes. And it's like 20 minutes. It's like, can't help it. So this is not for sale. If you ever see one, buy it, and there's a guy in Sweden who will want to buy it off you and offer you lots of stuff. I actually got offered, Scott actually offered me a Jaguar for it one time. Not a Fender Jaguar, a Jaguar car, because he'd inherited another car and he was having to sell his old one. And it's like, it's like a Jaguar estate. The reason I didn't take it is because I just want a cheap car. So that's why the Panda's good. The Panda's never really going to cost that much for parts. You know, it's like, oh, I need to get a tyre for it or something. To be honest, I don't think the Jaguar was that bad either, because it was kind of based in the Ford Mondeo one, you know, whatever model that was. So it's like you could get away with using Ford parts. You didn't have to buy actual specific Jaguar parts, but even then, bigger car, more to go wrong. Panda, if it breaks, just buy another one. Really, is my thinking. But this guy offered me a lot. He actually makes guitars, Odin guitars, and he offered me market value plus an Odin guitar of my choice, so a brand new guitar of my choice, and he would pay all the shipping and stuff, and it was just not really sure what the fact market value of these are. It used to be tempting to say that like a Roadster like this was maybe 250 quid, but I think they're an awful lot more than that, and I'm just talking about like if it was a black one or something, you know, like a normal colour. This is also available in, you won't be able to see it there in the Ibanez catalogue, in a sort of wine red one, which is like the white on the outside and wine red on the inside. It doesn't look anything like as good in my opinion, and these are much rarer. I do remember seeing an Ibanez Destroyer X series, this colour, and it looked amazing. It was $2.5 grand in America, and I was like, oh, not paying that for it, but I wish you'd done more of it. Obviously, it can't have been popular, otherwise you would see an awful lot more. A wee bit of the Antigua, is it Antigua, the Fender colour, which I actually really liked. Everyone always says Mingin, and I think when they were about, people would just paint them black and stuff, but I do quite like the Antigua, although I prefer this. It's just got so much going for this guitar. It's really sleek, pro looking, and it plays like an absolute dream, I have to say. And I guess I would get used to. Actually, what I was noticing there was, I was saying I didn't like having 2 volume controls. Because I've got them to play with, and you've got like the push-pulls on either one, it means you can have, say I'm using the humbucker in the bridge and the single coil in the neck. Being able to mix between having a volume control for each one of them is actually pretty good, because obviously the single coil is quieter than the humbucker. So you put them both on, and then you can turn the humbucker down a bit to get them both. There's definitely some interesting things going on there. When I was messing about, and to be honest, playing there was pretty much the first time I've ever really tried doing that. I also didn't touch the tone control either. I just don't spend enough time on guitars. This one I don't play enough, and I really wish I did. I'm going to take it into the band next time we're in, because it's a real looker. So imagine make that to 25 minutes of being just nonsense. Rock on! Catch you later! I love you all. Thanks for the 2,000 subs. I'm going to do a special on Sunday night. Thank folk and stuff like that. It's too big a list of folk. I figured the reason I haven't thanked anyone is if I miss people out, they might go, oh no, I missed me. What I have noticed is thanks for all the... I know they're all people, like your 2,000 subs, all of you lot are all people. And it kind of becomes a number at some point. I don't know when it became a number, and it was like all these people just saying, oh, well done and stuff. And it's really bizarre, because all those 1,000 people or 2,000 people are all real people. It's like, pure, wow, pure mind blown and super mega humbling. Rock on, catch you later.